Rape and slavery in the Bible. Rape is one of the most heinous crimes imaginable, yet few people know that the Bible often condones and even approves of rape. To the Christians watching this, how can anyone get their moral guidance from a book that allows rape? I'm going to show a list of verses that will shock the viewers, including Christians. As we already know, most Christians don't read the Bible. They are blindly following the way to hellfire. Laws of rape. The Bible commands a rapist to marry his victim. Deuteronomy 22:28-29. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. A rape victim must be put to death if she does not scream for help. Deuteronomy 22:23-24. If a man happens to meet in a town a virgin pledged to be married, and he sleeps with her, you shall take both of them to the gate of that town and stone them to death. The young woman because she was in a town and did not scream for help, and the man because he violated another man's wife. You must purge the evil from among you. The women of Jerusalem will be raped. Zechariah 14:2. I will gather all the nations to Jerusalem to fight against it. The city will be captured, the houses ransacked, and the women raped. Half of the city will go into exile, but the rest of the people will not be taken from the city. Now let's see what the Bible says about slavery. The Slave Bible, as it would come to be known, is a missionary book. It was originally published in London in 1807 and used by British missionaries to convert and educate African slaves. Through the transatlantic slave trade, millions of captured men, women, and children were put on ships in Africa to be enslaved in America and Europe. American slavery was violent and based on race. Masters were allowed to rape their slaves, and the slaves had no rights, as they were seen as property and not people. It astonishes me that millions of Black Christians don't know their own history and are just following what their forefathers were forced into. Now let's go through some Bible verses that endorse slavery. A man is allowed to sell his daughter into slavery. Exodus 21:7. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she will not be freed at the end of 6 years as the men are. Slaves are bought and sold like livestock. Leviticus 25:44-46. However, you may purchase male or female slaves from among the foreigners who live among you. You may also purchase the children of such resident foreigners, including those who have been born in your land. You may treat them as your property, passing them on to your children as a permanent inheritance. You may treat your slaves like this. The Bible says you can beat both male and female slaves with a rod so hard that as long as they don't die right away, you are cleared of any wrongdoing. Exodus 21:20-21. When a man strikes his male or female slave with a rod so hard that the slave dies under his hand, he shall be punished. If, however, the slave survives for a day or two, he is not to be punished, since the slave is his own property. Christians often say that Jesus ended slavery. This is an absolute lie. Slavery is still approved of in the New Testament, as the following passages show. Luke 12:47-48. The servant who knows the master's will and does not get ready or does not do what the master wants will be beaten with many blows. But the one who does not know and does things deserving punishment will be beaten with few blows. From everyone who has been given much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much more will be asked. Ephesians 6:5. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with deep respect and fear. Serve them sincerely as you would serve Christ. 1 Timothy 6:1-2. All slaves should show full respect for their masters so they will not bring shame on the name of God in his teaching. Those who have believing masters should not show them disrespect just because they are fellow believers. Instead, they should serve them even better because their masters are dear to them as fellow believers and are devoted to the welfare of their slaves. These are the things you are to teach and insist on. 1 Peter 2:18. Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. Well, there you go. It is no surprise why millions have left Christianity and continue to leave this man-made religion. The next time a Christian missionary tries to preach the Bible to you, show them these verses. That deceiving Jesus loves you tactic, which they always use, will fail.